Peace. Keeping it real with Rami. I'm gonna get right to it. This conversation is a little difficult to have. Um, so just walk with me on this. I'm gonna be first. I'm gonna talk to the people who know that we are Moors, and then I'll speak to the people that feel that we're black or African American or Black American or Negroes, etc. People of color. Um, for our people that know that we're Moors, I understand why we don't group ourselves in with quote unquote black people when we're referring to our people. Like, we don't say we in a sentence when it's just talking about blacks. I because we don't want to put ourselves in that box. We don't want to put that label on ourselves voluntarily. And I get it, but I also realize that the language, it can be a bit confusing, and if we're not careful, it can be um, it can be something that makes people want to be defensive or reject what you're saying, because I know it can come off, even though we don't mean it that way. It comes off as if we're saying, well, those are those people and we're us, but we're the same people. You know, they are people that believe that they are black still. They have a label placed on them, but that label is not them. They're not a new person or a new thing now that that label is placed onto them. They're just, you know, our people. We have been treated differently when we have that label or that brand or that status on us. Um, but we have to understand that if we're speaking to people that don't understand that, and we're and our goal is to help them understand what's going on, we have to be um, we have to be more thoughtful and mindful, and just as just as thoughtful as possible. Like, we have to really figure out a more effective way. We need to be more effective in how we communicate, and how we express what we're saying, because I know how it can come off, and that's not a good feeling, because then it can make it feel like, oh, them niggas think they better than us just because they Moors now. You know what I mean? And just this whole energy can stem from, oh well, y'all black people, y'all just gonna, you know what I'm saying? I understand what we're saying, but we also have to understand how it's being received, not how we want it to be received, or how we want it, or how we think it's being perceived, but from the people, how it's being perceived. And that's something that I noticed for a long time, and I never really, I don't know why I haven't spoke on it before, but so to my people that know that we are Moors and not black people, quote unquote black people, let's let's be more mindful of how we communicate to people who are unaware of our true identity and true heritage. Um, we have to be able to extend that hand with love. You know what I mean? Because, man, if it has any sense of like, I'm better than you, I know, because I got I've had to deal with that on a certain extent, like growing up, being considered smart, and people would give me that like animosity, or give just a negative vibe, just because you may come off as you think you're better than, and that's not the case, at all. Um, because Moors are not better than quote unquote blacks. More having Calling ourselves Moors just puts us in um, a better environment, or a better situation, or it puts us, it opens the doors for more opportunities to do things and to live and to exist. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, I really want us to make sure that we're not coming off as we think we're better than the people that feel that they're black, because that is not gonna solve the issue. Whether, yeah, leave right there. So, and sorry, this is just, it's hard to have this conversation in my head and trying to speak to two different points of view. Um, so, to my people that feel that we are black, um, I just, I know that no one, I know that no one can give anyone else their understanding or give anyone else a knowing about something. You can't give someone that. You can own. Everyone has to learn for themselves. I can show you the way. I can point you in the right direction, give you resources, but you have to physically read this information, listen to the information, digest it, think about it, reflect on it, and come to your own conclusions. That being said, I'm just asking humbly. I'm asking humbly to, if you truly want to be better, if you truly want for us as a people to be in a better position, for us to, to live free, to exist and not be, um, murdered and, just suffering, what I mean, through this slavery, through this oppression, through this genocide that we're going through as quote unquote black people, or people of color, or African Americans, Negroes, etc. If you truly want to get yourself or our people as a whole in a better space than where we are currently, then I ask for you to put your ego and your feelings and your pride just on hold for a moment. Put the idea of us being black people on hold for just a moment, and take a step outside of your frame of reference, outside of your perspective, and see it from a different angle. You feel what I'm saying? See it from a different perspective. Perhaps that different perspective will shed some light, or will be able to connect some dots that you just weren't able to connect, thinking that we're black people or thinking that we're African American, because you just have that perspective. And to know that, and also to know that regardless of how it may come off, please know that we are not different. It's not being a Moor isn't you changing into something. It's really us being ourselves, because us being black isn't who we truly are. We've taken on that identity. It's been placed on us. Let me read that actually. Let me read something real quick. Yeah. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery, due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors, us, was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. So I just wanted to read that to let you know that, in the literature, in the books that we are supposed to be studying, it says very clearly that Moors were not doing what we were supposed to, and then in 1774 these labels got placed on us: black, Negro, colored, etc. But we've always been Moors, even though We had something placed on top of us. We still were Moors. We just were being called something else. And so, man, it's really, really, I just am, I'm working on expressing and communicating more effectively that this isn't something that you convert into, or that you have to change into being, or that you have to be something different than what you already are. We've always been Moors. We've never not been Moors. I mean, okay, to clarify, at a certain point of time, we weren't calling ourselves Moors. Anciently, we went by different names, and this goes throughout time. But I'm saying, in the most recent amount of history, we've been calling ourselves, and people have identified and called us and recognized us and honored us, and feared us, as Moors. And I really just want us to let go of the fear and the prejudice, the prejudging, and the misconceptions about what's going on with us as a people, what's going on with this Moorish movement. And I really just want us to understand it's not a Moors versus black thing. It's we're the same people. Moors, quote unquote black people, we're one and the same people. It's just a certain group of us have a certain label on us that puts us in a certain status, where Moor puts us in a different status. Black, African American, people of color, Negro, Black American, all of those terms put us in the status of a slave. More specifically, Moorish American. That is a title. That is a stat. That name represents a status that is not a slave. Never has been a slave. It's a free human being, an indigenous, aboriginal human being, an American, a quote unquote Native American, really from this continent, and a bunch of other things. So I think I've been talking a little too long, but hopefully from this video, if you know that you're a Moor, and you know that we're Moors, hopefully you will take a second next time when you're speaking to someone. And I'm talking to myself as well. I'm not just saying that I have to work on this as well. But I hope that we take a second and approach helping our people understand what's going on with a little more kindness and a little more thoughtfulness to the condition or to the perspective that other people may have. And for my people that feel that we're Black, African American, I just want you to take a second, hold on, don't get defensive, understand we are coming with love. We are trying to help. No, we are helping, and we are working to help all of our people. So please don't take a defensive stance at the information, but open your mind and open your heart to understanding who we truly are. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Keep moving with love. Keep shining. Yeah. Thank you. Peace.